Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Very glad you're all here today to learn more about Forwardly and get Forwardly certified. Today, I'm walking you through the partner certification workshop, and I'm really excited to get into it with you. I'm Jane. I am the Director of Marketing and Operations at Forwardly, and I'll be handling today's demo and training session. Now, here's what we're going to cover today. Who Forwardly is built for. We're going to go over a live demo of the platform and a walkthrough of onboarding, payments and auto payments, pay by card, and how banking and business payment information works. We're also going to get into why clients choose Forwardly, what it actually means to be a certified partner, and leave plenty of time at the end for questions. We'll get to the Q&A questions that were submitted when everyone registered at that point. Now, a little about me. I have been working here at Forwardly since day one. Otherwise, I've been working full-time in fintech for nearly 5 years, actually coming up on 6 soon, covering banking, accounting, and pay tech. Before that, I've spent 11 years across marketing and operations in tech, manufacturing, and hospitality. I'm a member of the BC Tech CMOC Council, and I've been consulting with small businesses for over 8 years. So I've seen a payment pain from a lot of angles, both as somebody building solutions and as someone sitting on the other side of the table. I also grew up in my parents' tax and immigration firm, so I've done my time in a tax firm, and I have plenty of stories about the chaos that comes along with that. Now, before we get into the demo, I want to take a minute on who Forwardly is and who it's built for, because that context really matters when you're recommending it to clients. Forwardly is a modern payments and financial operations platform, and we're built for high-growth US-based businesses. So we help them move money faster. We're trying to simplify how they pay bills and cut down the manual work around approvals and cash flow. Our focus is on removing friction from both accounts payable and accounts receivable, so businesses spend less time chasing payments and more time running their business. Forwardly is built for those fast-growing businesses that want more control and more visibility over how money moves. It's a strong fit for businesses handling a high volume of bills, managing multiple approvers, or if they're frustrated with checks or slow payments, or even if they're just simply outgrowing their manual processes. We're also built with accountants and finance teams directly in mind so that it fits into existing workflows rather than adding to them. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what's changed in tech and why products like Forwardly are important. The RTP network from the clearinghouse with instant payments launched in 2017. FedNow from the Federal Reserve launched in 2023, just 2 months after Forwardly launched in preparation for it. Real-time payments are now possible for any business. AI is making bill capture and reconciliation something that happens. Cloud accounting is mainstream. All the pieces are in place for you to have a modern business structure for any business operating in the US today. The businesses that move now are the ones who are going to have a significant operational advantage over those that wait another few years to improve their technology stacks. And the context for why this conversation is happening now and not 5 years ago, well, in 2025, weekly AI users were already up to 750 million users, up from 100 million in late 2023. Recent numbers I pulled from August 2026 put that number at 1 billion just for ChatGPT alone. So AI adoption is not slowing down, and finance teams using AI are pulling ahead of those who aren't. So the gap is measured in hours per week, not minutes per week. The question is no longer whether to use AI in your payment workflows, it's how. And that's the shift that we're kind of here to talk about today and how Forwardly can help. So let's talk about how Forwardly uses AI. There are 3 places AI is doing real work inside of Forwardly right now. First, AI bill inbox. Bill arrives by email, AI reads it, extracts the vendor amount, due date, and every line item and matches it to the right vendor record automatically and creates the bill without anyone typing anything. It learns from your transaction history over time, so it gets more accurate the more you use it. We also have our AI agent. This runs in the background on every bill and invoice, flagging and holding duplicates, unusual amounts, and vendors it doesn't recognize for additional review. Consider it like almost an extra employee who's just quickly running through numbers and names and double checking for anything fishy. It's basically a first line of defense before anything goes out for approval or gets paid. The third way Forwardly is helping is with smart bill approval workflows. So approvers are notified automatically based on your custom rules, which means nothing moves forward without the right sign off. You get that full audit trail throughout. And on Forwardly, none of these features are gated behind a paywall or subscription. If you have a free business account, you have access to these features. Now, for bank speeds, let's talk about the speeds and flexibility and the costs, because these questions always come up throughout the webinar. Now, first off, Forwardly offers instant payments. Not all payment speeds are going to be available for all businesses immediately, but Forwardly does have instant payments as an option via both RTP network and the FedNow network. Those instant payments arrive in seconds, 24/7, 365. Our instant same-day and next-day payment speeds are all 1% per payment with a minimum of $1 with a maximum cap depending on the speed. So for instance, instant payments have a maximum cap of $30, same-day payments have a maximum cap of $20, and next-day payments have a maximum cap of $10. You should also keep an eye on our website because occasionally we do run special promotions. For standard payments, it's 3 to 5 business days for that deposit, but you get 10 free a month, and then it's 50 cents each after that. No monthly fees cost for any of this. You pay for transaction and that's it. And we try and keep our fees competitive. If you are already using Forwardly and you don't have access to faster payments, there are a few things you can do to increase the likelihood you'll get access. This can include connecting your accounting software, syncing your bank accounts using Plaid and not using a manual connection, and building up a successful payment history of multiple months of using Forwardly with no hiccups. If you ever have questions about eligibility, you can reach out to our team at help@forwardly.com and we're going to do our best to answer your questions. While this slide is about bank payments, it's also worth mentioning that we do offer card payments as an option for when it comes to receiving payments. In order to receive card payments, you just need to apply to enable them. And once you do, make sure you give a realistic estimate of what amounts you might actually process annually. Now, let's get into our actual demo. Just give me a moment as I update my screen share. All right. Apologies for the delay here as I get this going. All right, hopefully everybody can see just fine. All right, so this is Forwardly. This is the dashboard. Now, this is where everything kind of starts when you log in. Right away, you can kind of see everything you need from your dashboard. Now, if you ever need to add another business, you can easily go in, add another business through here. You can connect your accounting or ERP integration. Now, that is completely optional. However, we do definitely recommend it because it's going to pull in your contact list, your vendor list, invoices, and bills automatically from your existing data. So we definitely recommend you connect your accounting system. Without your integration, you are going to need to build your contact list and create your bills and invoices manually on the platform, which can add it does add some additional steps to the process, which isn't necessarily ideal for everyone. So we definitely recommend, try and get started with your accounting system. Now, to get signed up, it's pretty simple. You're basically just going into our app and you can either choose to sign up using an Intuit account or with a Xero account. And then from there, you'll basically have to confirm an email address. You'll have to confirm a non-VoIP US phone number. Now, it does say mobile number here. You can use a landline. We do have the option for a voice call for an OTP. What we're going to do is we're going to send a one-time password to both your email and your mobile number to guarantee that you have access to these two things. Once you do that, it's pretty simple process to get signed up. Now, very quickly, I'm just going to jump in and I am going to start our first poll. because it is time for our first poll. Now, I should mention that in order to get certified for this webinar, you are going to need to answer 3 out of our four polling questions correctly. So make sure to answer those. If you are not using Teams, you can paste your response in the chat. So I'm just launching our first poll there for you. Make sure to jump in and answer that. All right, that'll close in a minute or two. In the meantime, let's get back to this. So back to our dashboard here. So we're a B2B payment platform. That means that we only do payments between businesses. Now, that can include sole proprietors, 1099 contractors, LLCs, corporations, nonprofits, all of that. But consumer to business and personal payments are outside of the scope of the app. So make sure that when you are introducing clients to Forwardly, you're mentioning that this is a business to business only platform. We do see this often, that sometimes accountants will invite their friends or clients, and they won't mention that this can't be used for personal payments. That can cause a bit of a hitch, so make sure that you're not letting people know, they can pay contractors, you can pay individuals that are operating as a business, but you cannot pay individuals that are just consumers. So make sure not to recommend us for that. To add a client, it's pretty simple. Now, you'll actually have a dedicated firm inbox. Unfortunately, we just updated our demo like a week ago, and we have not yet built out our accounting firm as an example, but make sure to join in next month and we will show you that. But it is essentially, you get a team section and you get a business section. So you'll be able to go in and actually add yourself as your client's accountant. It's a really smooth onboarding process, and it's basically like one click to either join an existing business on Forwardly's business network or to invite your client to join, and you can take over and basically become the account controller for it so that you have admin access and can make whatever changes you need on their behalf. Now, let's get into some accounts payable. So accounts payable, every business has their own dedicated bill inbox. You can forward bills to your dedicated email inbox, or you can upload them manually here. When you upload a bill, it's basically going to be read using a combination of AI. The nice thing about Forwardly is that our AI is going to learn the more you put bills into the system. So the more you get them from different vendors, it's going to automatically add the right items, the right expense categories, descriptions, and it's going to find and sync the right vendors over time. Obviously, this is a demo account, so Alex doesn't really exist here. But if Alex did exist in our system, or if we needed to add them, we would be able to do that right here by adding a new vendor. Now, there are three ways to get a bill into the system. Either you forward it to the inbox, you upload a file, or you can create from scratch directly. Now, when you upload it, you'll have the ability to, as I showed you, go through continue. Then you can click create and pay, and it'll actually, oh, right, it's going to want me to actually put somebody in here. Let's just put in for Bob's. Once we do that, it's going to actually create that and show the current approvals required, as well as allow you to select the account you're paying from, as well as your preferred speed, process dates, and the payment amounts. You can also split these, move these around, whatever is needed. There's also a spot for you to write your internal remarks. Now you'll notice that this does not allow me to submit it for approval. That's because there is actually no email associated with this yet with Bob's Burger Joint. So we would actually have to add their information in here. Now, sometimes you will have the ability to add bank details. That's not available for every business off the bat. If you do need to add bank details on behalf of your vendor, just write into us at help@forwardly.com and we'll take a look and review and see if we can unlock that for you. Typically, that does unlock after a couple of months of using Forwardly. It's just another feature that we make available just because of the issues that comes along with entering other people's banking information. A large portion of our app is designed to remove the requirements for you to collect your vendors or clients' banking information in order to process payments to or from those businesses. So Once you actually have that payment, you find the vendor on the business network. Typically, hopefully, you'd have their email address, and then you would submit that for approval if approval is required, or if there are no approvals required, you would just pay the bill and it would get started. And then, creating an account is completely optional for vendors. So for instance, the vendor payment experience is pretty simple. They're going to get an email telling them that, your business has sent them a payment and asking them to confirm their first name, last name, and connect their banking information. So we always recommend getting your clients or vendors to connect and verify instantly through a plaid. If they do choose to add or verify their bank account manually, it can add some extra days. We'll get into that a bit later. So let me just check my notes. Yeah, so so the other option is when it comes to adding bank details is to actually go into your vendor's details. So you can actually go into into your vendor listing over here. You can go through to view their payment. Now you can either cancel the request and resend it. So you can actually ask your vendor to add their own banking information, or you'll again be able to go in and add their bank details here. Now we also do have activity logs that shows everything when a new vendor was added, when their emails were updated, if they've sent, payment authorizations or bank detail requests. And you even have the ability to set up auto payments as well. So this is something that we've added in the last 6 months. Basically, the ability to, once you have a vendor's banking information, you can actually set up so that any bill that they send you is automatically paid to them. Now, that being said, as I mentioned earlier in this webinar, the banking, the AI agent is actually going to check and monitor all payments. So while I say that all payments are going to get automatically paid for this single vendor, if our AI agent notices anything fishy, it is going to highlight those for you. So it is going to actually prevent that from, prevent potential fraud. Now, let's get into approvals. So what does that actually look like? Well, first off, for bill approvals, you can set up as many different I believe you can set up to 10 different approval groups for different payments. So you can set up a different number of members, set them to different policies, and you can modify those as needed. You also get an audit trail of who actually is adding or editing approval groups. So all of that is really monitored. Then from there, you have the ability to create specific policies, again, with a similar audit trail tracking everything, okay? So for instance, you can go in, it's pretty simple. It's relatively simple approval tracking. It's going to have an if and. You can choose between vendor or payment amount, greater than, in between, less than. And then once you actually go through to the next screen, then you can choose as many layered approvals as you need. So for instance, you could have one of event approvers, and allow them to bypass lower levels. So it's just there to give you a little bit of control over who is actually paying your bills. We try and have our policies be extremely flexible so that they can work for the majority of businesses. Now, with that said, I believe it is time to get into our second poll. Just give me half a moment and I will get that live. All right. Perfect. So that is shared now. Make sure to get in there and answer that poll. As I mentioned, you do have to have 3 out of 4 possible questions in order to get your certification. All right, so back to this. So now let's talk about accounts receivable, because that is a big reason people come to us. So first off, you can go to your invoice payments here. Like I said, if you have your accounting system connected, all your invoices are going to be pulled directly over. Now, you have the ability to create your invoices directly within here. You can also create and make any invoice recurring just by going to recurring invoices up here, or switch between, single invoice or recurring schedules. You can set your start dates, have them go until a specific date, and have them repeat set amount of times. Fairly straightforward, but if you ever have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to help@forwardly.com. Otherwise, you can also add in PO numbers, invoice terms, even up to service dates, and basically cut and pick whichever ones you want here. For recurring invoices, you can also handle them from the recurring invoices screen, so you can actually create your schedules directly here and manage them as well. Now, once you've actually created an invoice and it's ready, you can basically find your client. Again, it's going to be a similar kind of thing where you need to find their email address or attach it. And then you can set your preferred payment speed of how quickly you actually want the funds. So in this case, you would be paying the fees because you're requesting the payment from your client. So they would be paying the fees in this case. That being said, if you have applied credit card payments, you do have the option to set up credit card payments and then actually ask for the fees to get passed to your clients. So our credit card fees are 2.99%, which can be passed to your client. As well as the 2.99%, we do also have a 25-cent batch payment, card payment fee. That's per batch that we pay out for card payments, and that cannot be passed to your client. So once you've set this up, then your client would see card payments as an option when it comes for them to pay. What that looks like is if we go here to the client request, when you send this request out, they're going to get an email that looks just like this. They're going to, again, confirm their basic details, attach a banking option, or if you have card payments enabled, it is going to take them over to add a card, which is nice and fast for them. Then they're just going to have to confirm their mobile number and their business name, and that's it. The payment will be processing and in progress. They don't have to create an account or anything like that. Now, if you have recurring clients, if you have somebody who is paying you on a set basis regularly, you can also do something we call auto payments for your existing clients. So you can actually go in and you can set up auto payments. So you can send them an auto payment authorization. And what this will do is this will ask them for authorization for all future payments. So it's very important here that they, you understand this is for all future invoices created for them on the due date. Once they have enabled auto payments, that payment is going to be automatically deducted and debited from their account. Or yeah, it's going to be taken from their account. So make sure they're aware that is what that is doing. It is very clear in our guest experience what is happening, but always let them know all future invoices will be automatically pushed through at that point. Now, at this point, I do want to mention, so the about bank accounts. So multiple bank accounts can be added to any business. If you choose to add and verify that bank account manually, I mentioned earlier that it can take up to 3 business days to get verified. It takes a little bit of extra time. This is because of NACHA guidelines. So what happens is when you add a bank account manually, what we're actually having to do is ensure that that bank account exists, which takes several business days for us to do. Again, this is a NACHA guideline. This isn't something we have control over. So the fastest way is always going to be adding a bank through an instant plaid verification. Okay, because then you're not waiting 3 to 5 business days for that to go through. With that, we are going to start the next poll. Let me just find this. Yeah, with this, we are going to launch our third poll. Okay, that should be up there. Please make sure to take a look and get that answered so you can get your certification. All right, so the next thing I want to mention about recurring payments is the timeline. So the way that Forwardly works is we pull in invoices from the connected accounting system on the invoice date. So when you are creating an invoice, it is very important, especially if it's an auto payment, for you to bring the invoice in before the due date. Because what's going to happen is, say you have your invoice date set to August 5th and you have your due date set for August 5th. What would happen in that case is we're going to bring the invoice in on August 5th, and because we inform your client before charging them, we are actually going to charge them on August 6th. This isn't because it isn't due on August 5th, it's because we do have a 1-day delay as we inform your client. Now, if you have the due date set as August 5th, but the invoice date is set to earlier in the month, then we would pull it in ahead of time and we would have it scheduled for the proper date. So make sure that your invoice dates are always set ahead of time. If you have them set as the same date as the due date, you may see your auto payment processing on the next business day rather than your originally intended due date. This is one of our most common issues we see with auto payments, so keep that in mind when you are creating invoices for that. With that in mind, I'm just going to start up our final poll as well. So make sure to get that answered for your credit. All right. So last thing I want to mention is the business verification. Now, any business on the platform must complete verification before payments can be processed. Verification is automatically triggered when you initiate a payment, send a bill, or request an auto payment authorization. Now, documents required are depend on the type of business entity you are. So, obviously, if you're a sole proprietor, that's going to have different requirements than a LLC or a corporation. Generally, things we're going to request are going to be things like proof of business address, some identity verification of the beneficial owners or key individuals. And then if you choose the wrong business type during verification, you will have to get in touch with us and submit a ticket in order to get that changed to the correct verification. Now, this is a one-time process. Once you are verified on the network, you'll actually be visible on our Forwardly Business Network, so people won't have to submit your banking information. They'll be able to find you on the network and send you or request payments from you more securely. Compliance review typically takes 1 to 5 business days once everything is submitted. Obviously, that is business days, so keep that in mind when it comes time to submit business information. Otherwise, the last thing is also our referrals program. So obviously, now that you're certified, or once you've been certified, you will have your unique referral link available in your refers tab. So it is available both here, and if you go to your home, it's available up here at the top. Now that you're certified, you're going to be eligible to earn up to $115 per referred business. You're going to be getting sent your public badge for LinkedIn and your website after. And it's just make sure that the most important thing to remember is that if you refer somebody to Forwardly and they don't use your unique referral link, you are not eligible for a payment for that business. They have to use your unique referral link to sign up. If they do not come in through that page, unfortunately, we cannot go back and attribute a referral to you. So please make sure to use that referral link. With that, that is the end of our demo. So I'm just going to switch back to back to my training slides so that I can finish off this presentation. All right. So this is a summary slide of before and after that I think is probably the most valuable part of this entire presentation. If you're going to show something to a client, this is probably it. Before and after switching to Forwardly, you're going to look at receiving payments before manual reminder, after you have fully automated collections. Bill capture, you have before manual entry, inaccurate OCR, after our AI is going to read with about 99.9% accuracy, which again improves over time. So you might see your first few bills not be super accurate, but the next month's bills will be much, much better. Payment approvals, going to improve before email chains, potential fraud, after it's going to be custom rules-based, auto-notified. Payment types, checks to basic ACH. It should mention we don't support checks on Forwardly, but with Forwardly, you're going to have access to all digital payment platform or all digital payment types. Reconciliation, you're going to see before it's manual cleanup, after it's real-time sync already tracked in your accounting system. And before, your fraud risk was high. Unverified emails, after you're getting a verified vendor network, approval processes, permissions, audit logs, and the cost. Before, subscription fees plus seat fees. After, it's free for your whole team. You're paying per transaction only. And that bottom column is the one I want to leave you with. On one competitor, a $100 payment costs $10 flat for same day delivery. On Forwardly, $1 would get it there instantly. So when it comes time to getting payments when they're needed, Forwardly is a great option. If you're ever curious about how much you could save in time or cost by switching to Forwardly, please reach out to our team. We'll do the math for you. Really, you can just send us like how many transactions you had, what speeds you had them at with your previous provider, or how many, how fast you wish they had been, and we will figure out the exact cost of what that would have been for you on Forwardly. So that's it. If you've answered the questions correctly, you'll be getting your certification shortly using the email you used to register for this session. As a Forwardly certified partner, you're going to get a few things that are worth highlighting. First, you're going to see your official certified partner badge that's available on our support portal. This is something you can use on your website, your email signature, your LinkedIn profile, and wherever you want to show clients and prospects that you've been trained on the platform and know it well. We're also building out our Partner Spotlight program, where we featured certified partners through dedicated profiles on our site and across our social channels. If you're ever interested in being featured, reach out to us and inquire there, or wait for our email. Finally, certified partners have access to extra referral incentives over our typical referral partners. When you refer a business to Forwardly and they join the Forwardly Business Network, you're going to get that extra referral reward. Now, if you have a larger audience, we also have an affiliate program. Affiliates are a bit different than our referral program. While our referral program is available like directly within the app and no application required, our affiliate program is a little bit more complicated than that. It functions separately from our partner program, but offers bigger rewards of about $1,000 per referred business. To get started, you need to apply on forwardly.com/affiliates through our affiliate program, which is currently on Impact. So today we covered who Forwardly is built for, what the platform does, and how it fits into the workflows your clients are already running. We also walked through your certified partner benefits, including your badge, spotlight opportunities and referral rewards, and we talked about how straightforward the referral process actually is. So what it comes down to is refer a client, earn a reward, and that's it. Now for our live Q&A, if you have any questions, please make sure to add them in the chat. And if you're watching a replay, you can always reach out to us at help@forwardly.com or visit support.forwardly.com to submit a ticket using our form. Reviews also mean a lot to us. So if you have not yet, please, please, please go ahead and drop us a review, even if it's just about our customer service, whether it's a glowing review or one that has genuine feedback that, we need to hear. It's important for us to hear it, and either writing into our support portal or leaving a review is one of the best ways you can do that. So we appreciate everybody who does that. And now just give me a moment as I go in, and I'm going to be opening up our, I just need to pull up our Q&A from when everyone registered. Sorry, Teams changed recently, so I'm just having to change up how this is. Okay, perfect. So someone asked about our FreshBooks integration. FreshBooks integration works very similarly to our other integrations. During the onboarding process, when you're adding a business, you're basically just going to click FreshBooks instead of any of the other integrations. It should be fairly straightforward, but if you ever have any specific questions, please feel free to reach out and we'll answer them. Someone else asked, how do we become an affiliate? Hopefully we already covered that one. So as I mentioned, you do have to apply through our program via Impact. The link to that is at forwardly.com/affiliates. Our affiliate program is managed by another party, so you will have to apply for it, and you will have to be on the Impact platform in order to become an affiliate. Once you're an affiliate, though, you will get a extra special unique link. And that is how you, using that link is the one how you earn up to $1,000 per qualified referral. More information about that is available on our support portal, specifically the differences between affiliates and partners and what the milestones are in order to earn those higher rewards. Someone also asked about our comparisons to Bill.com. Yeah, I mean, Bill.com has been around a long time. We have been around for around 4 years now. So we are, I like to say, more economically reasonable when it comes to intro costs. We try and make sure that, with no monthly costs and fairly reasonably priced payment transaction fees, we are quite approachable for any kind of high growth business that is going to find uh, high transaction fees or a growing team to be too much of a line item for subscription costs or processing fees in order to sustain growth. So, yeah, I think that's pretty simple. But if you ever have any direct questions about a feature that Bill.com doesn't or Bill.com does have and we don't have, please feel free to reach out. Send us an email, help@forwardly.com, and we will add that to our discussion talking points. I promise you, we have a meeting pretty regularly where we go over every single feature we've been requested in the last couple weeks. Other questions asked were, what are the terms of Forwardly's partner program? Pretty simple. You have to follow our usual terms and conditions of like terms of use. Otherwise, all the terms are available on our support portal. Basically, send your link. The businesses that you refer do have to be unaffiliated with your business. So for instance, if you are a firm and you invite your client, the easiest way to earn with the Forwardly referral program is to have your client send or receive $200 in payments. That is how you are eligible for that first $100 reward, right? Um, but if the only business that they're transacting with is you wouldn't be eligible for that because you're directly related to your referral. So they would have to transact $200 with another business, a third-party business that is unaffiliated with you and unaffiliated with them in order for you to be eligible for that referral. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, please let me know and I will try and find a better way to word this. But that's essentially it. So it needs to be an unaffiliated business that they are transacting with, not just you or your firm. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And with that, I think that's pretty much time for us. It's been about 37 minutes. So that's all the questions we had for today. If you have any more, don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.